I had the last thought about, the Bengals selecting Jamar Chase. It has escaped my mind, so I'm just going to switch gears here and, start talking about the positive. The rant about the big bad Bengal pick is over, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start talking about a team that I did not think I would be talking about when I was thinking, okay, we're going to have one really good pick and we're going to have one really bad pick. And I did not think that the New York Giants and Dave Gettleman would be the team that I would be talking about today in terms of saying, wow, this team is surprisingly having a really good draft. Now, first of all, I want to give a, round of applause for Dave Gettleman. He was 0 for 54 or something in trading back with his selections as his time as general manager. And he traded back twice in a row. I could not believe it. Now, granted, some people may be saying, well, why do you think the Giants are having that great of a draft? And granted, I wanted to say that they're having the best draft out of anybody right now, but that's so subjective, and it's so hard to say that when there's actually a lot of good teams, or a lot of teams, rather, that are having good drafts and they're making really smart selections. I think the Miami Dolphins, New York Jets are some of them. The AFC East got much, much better. The AFC East is turning into a really interesting division. It used to be kind of the joke of the AFC, but now it's turning incredibly, incredibly interesting, and I'm all here for it. But back to the point at hand, Dave Gettleman really surprised me. And the Giants are having a really good draft in a year in which they need to have a really good draft and really try and surround Daniel Jones with the talent that he needs to be able to succeed and in a make or break year for him. Now, I had projected that one team, I wasn't sure who it was in my mock draft. I thought it was going to be the New England Patriots. I had the feeling, I had the sneaking suspicion that there was one team that was going to absolutely take advantage of the Bears, who were panic trading, who were going to try and hit the panic button so they can go up and get a quarterback. And they did do that. They traded with the Giants to take their number 11 selection to draft Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. And Dave Gettleman absolutely got a haul from Chicago, and I was really impressed with this. They got not only swapped first picks this year, but they got the Chicago Bears first-round pick next season, as well as a third-round pick. I can't remember if that's exactly correct, but the big news is that they got Chicago's first-round pick next year as well. So Dave Gettleman got an absolute haul from Chicago, and from Ryan Pace, who is definitely scrambling and panicking to save his job and to get a good quarterback. And we'll see, and we'll talk about it on the show on some point on whether or not I think Justin Fields is actually going to be able to succeed in Chicago. I think out of all the quarterbacks that got drafted on Thursday night, Justin Fields fell into the worst situation out of all of them. Mac Jones got a great situation. Trey Lance got a great situation. Zach Wilson, I guess the jury's still out, and obviously Trevor Lawrence is going to be Trevor Lawrence, or at least everybody thinks that he is. Some people have concerns. I don't really have concerns at this point about Lawrence. But again, back to the topic at hand, I was so impressed with Dave Gettleman. I was really impressed. They absolutely fleeced the Bears to have them, trade up from 20 to 11. And then they drafted Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of University of Florida. And some people may scoff at this pick. Some people maybe thought that the Giants should have gone defense. Kwity Paye was available at this point, and he's supposed to be one of the better, pass rushers in this draft class. And, of course, the Colts pick up Kwity Paye with the next pick at 21. Some people think that the Giants should have gone defense, and they did go defense, and they got great value in the second and third round. They drafted Kadarius Toney at 20 overall, and Kadarius Toney, and I can tell you with having watched him in person multiple times, this guy, when he is absolutely healthy, and that's a big when because he did have injury troubles in his time at University of Florida. When he is absolutely healthy, this guy is a scoring machine. You get Kadarius Toney the ball, and he will get you yardage, chunk yardage, and often find the end zone. This is a great draft selection. So now you're looking at a Giants offense for Daniel Jones, right? That is returning Saquon Barkley. Added Kyle Rudolph, added Kenny Golladay. You still have Slayton. You still have some of the remaining wide receiver core from last season still there. You have Evan Ingram, unfortunately. So you have Kyle Rudolph, Kenny Golladay, Evan Ingram, Darius Slayton, and now you have Kadarius Toney, which out of the slot, he can be an absolute menace. And I know you're thinking, well, you spent your first overall selection on a slot receiver. Kadarius Toney can really do it all. He can come out of the backfield, he can run jet sweep, he can run wildcat, he can run pretty much whatever kind of offense you want him to run, and he will be a valuable asset. I absolutely love the selection of Kadarius Toney by the Giants, especially in the fact that you were able to trade back, get such a valuable playmaker at number 20, and you're also able to get Chicago's first round pick next year, and I don't think that the Bears are going to have a good season next season. So at the very least, you're probably going to be picking in the 10 to 15 range again next season, and with Daniel Jones being on such a crucial year, a year in which he has to succeed, you were not only able to plan for the future in case that doesn't work out, you get an extra first round pick, but you're able to help him this year with some talent. It was a fantastic move by Dave Gettleman. The Giants are quietly having a really great draft. And again, I did not think that I would be sitting here today talking about the Giants being the team that actually had a really good draft. And here we are. And again, they did a really good job. They traded back in the second day as well, and they ended up getting what is his name is a mouthful. His name is a mouthful, and I'm forgetting it, so let me check that really quickly. Azeez Ojulari. He is a probable first-round pick. He should have been a first-round pick. He got injured during some pro workouts, which kind of made him slide a little bit. But he's projected to be one of the best pure pass rushers in this draft, which the Giants definitely needed. So they weren't able to, or they elected rather, to go Kadarius Toney at 20, and they were still able to get one of the best defensive pass rushers in the draft in the second round as well, and trading down in that as well. Then in the third round, they got Aaron Robertson, cornerback out of UCF. He's going to be a really good slot guy in the NFL, going to be somebody to help James Bradbury, and they brought in somebody else in the offseason at cornerback as well. So the defense is pretty good for the Giants as well. Hey, I've been saying that the Washington is going to be running that division for a couple of years now. The Giants have come out of nowhere with an incredible offseason, so look out for the New York Giants. And again, I'm very hesitant to say that they're having the best draft out of anybody. I wanted to say that they're having the best draft out of anybody, but I think that the Jets are also having a good draft. I think the Dolphins are having a good draft. The Browns are having a great draft. You know, these teams are having really good drafts, so it's very subjective, and I can't say that one team in particular is having the best draft. That would be silly of me. But David Gettleman surprising everybody in a crucial year for his stretch quarterback, you know, a quarterback that everybody was like, Daniel Jones, I don't know about him. You know, it was kind of a pick that was memed, you know, him taking Daniel Jones over anybody else. And granted, looking back on it, was probably one of the better moves in that draft, or one of the better selections at the time. Regardless, you know, this is a year in which David Gettleman needed to get it right, and he so far has gotten pretty much everything right, and now it's going to be on the shoulders of Daniel Jones, and I've said it before on the show. I mocked and I memed the pick of Daniel Jones when it happened, but I really want Daniel Jones to succeed in New York. I really want him to succeed, and I'm not biased in any way towards that in terms of, hey, the Giants are a football team. I'm unbiased in, you know, my team's favorisms. I'm unbiased, but I want, you know, Daniel Jones to succeed, and the Giants have turned in a really good draft. They did a fantastic job, and I was really impressed with Dave Gettleman. Hey folks, thank you so much for listening to this segment from the Hard-Headed Sports Podcast. If you enjoyed this segment, make sure that you drop a like on the video and a comment. It helps me out a bunch. And if you're interested in watching more segments like this from the show after the show has been completed, you should definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're interested in listening to the entire show in its full-length entirety, you should listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video. My name is Nick Ryan, and I will see you all again very soon.